Imagine two people, same job, same paycheck, same boring apartment, same used car, same Tuesday night routine. 20 years go by. One of them retires early, sleeps like a baby, and never checks the price of gas. The other one is still refreshing their bank app 3 days before payday, doing that little stomach clench math we all know too well. Here's the part that's going to bug you. The difference between them was almost never how much money they made. It was the order they used it in. Same dollars, same income, wildly different lives. And it all came down to a sequence, a step-by-step order for what your money does the second it hits your account. Most people never learned this, not because they're dumb, because nobody taught them. School taught you the year the Civil War ended, but not what to do with your first real paycheck. So you do what everybody does. You spend first and you invest whatever's left. Spoiler, there's never anything left. Or you go the other direction. You try to do everything at once. Pay down debt and invest and save and open 5 accounts you read about online. And you end up doing all of it badly, like trying to water 10 plants with 1 cup. Neither of those is a strategy. They're just vibes. There's a real order, 6 steps. And when you run your money through them in the right sequence, the same dollar that used to disappear starts quietly multiplying in the background while you sleep. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do with every paycheck. First dollar to last. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll spot the people doing it wrong everywhere, including, maybe, a person you were 10 minutes ago. The big idea, sequencing beats everything. Before we touch step 1, I need to fix something in your head, because if I don't, the rest of this won't land. You've been told that building wealth is about willpower. Skip the lattes, cancel the subscriptions, eat rice and beans, cut, until you're basically punishing yourself for the crime of having a life. I want to challenge that completely. Here's a thought that's going to feel weird at first. The order you use your money matters more than the amount you make. Read that again, because almost nobody talks about it. Think about a recipe. You can have the exact right ingredients, flour, eggs, sugar, butter, and still end up with a disaster if you throw them in the wrong order. Dump raw flour on top of a baked cake and tell me how that tastes. The ingredients weren't the problem. The sequence was. Money works the exact same way. The same $100 can do almost nothing, or it can change your entire future, depending on when in the sequence you deploy it. Let me prove it fast. Say you've got an extra $500 this month. You're feeling responsible, so you toss it into an investment account. You feel great, productive, adult. But meanwhile, you've got a credit card sitting there charging you 24% interest. That investment might earn you 10% in a good year, but the debt is draining 24%. So you're proudly walking up the down escalator. You feel like you're moving, but the math is quietly eating you alive. Take that exact same $500, throw it at the credit card first, and you just earned a guaranteed 24% return by killing the interest. Same money, different order, completely different outcome. That's sequencing. And here's the part that should make you a little angry. The people quietly getting rich aren't smarter than you, and most of them aren't earning more than you. They're just following an order that nobody ever wrote down for them in plain English. So that's what we're doing today. 6 steps. Run every single paycheck through them, top to bottom. When you can't do all 6, and at first you won't be able to, you just go as far down the list as your money allows, and you start again next paycheck. Foundation first, always. Step 1. Step 1, build a small emergency buffer first. Before you invest a single dollar, before you get fancy, before you open one new app, you need a floor under your feet. Here's what I mean. Life is going to punch you in the wallet. Not if, when. The tire blows on I-95, the tooth cracks on a popcorn kernel, the transmission decides Tuesday is its last day on Earth, the boss calls you into the quick chat that isn't quick. Now picture 2 versions of you when that happens. Version 1 has 0 cash set aside. So when the $900 car repair hits, what do? You either reach for the credit card, and now you've created the exact high-interest monster we're going to fight in step 3, or you yank money out of investments at the worst possible moment. And life has a cruel sense of humor here. Emergencies love to show up right when the market is down. So you sell low, lock in a loss, and undo years of progress in one panicked afternoon. Version 2 has $1,000 sitting in an account. The car breaks, you sigh, you pay it, you refill the account over the next month. No drama, no debt, no selling. It's a bad Tuesday, not a financial crisis. That difference, the entire difference, is one small pile of cash. So step 1 is dead simple. Set aside $1,000 to $2,000. That's it. This is not your retirement. This is not your wealth. This is your shock absorber. It exists for one job, to keep everything else on this list from getting knocked over when life happens. Now, where you park it matters, and this is where most people quietly lose money without knowing it. Do not drop it in a regular savings account at a big-name bank. A lot of those pay you 0.01% interest. Let me put that in human terms. Park $1,000 there for a whole year, and they'll pay you about 10 cents, a dime. You can't even find a gumball machine for that anymore. Instead, use a high-yield savings account. Same idea, safe, government insured, you can pull the money out whenever, but right now those are paying somewhere around 4 to 5% a year. On that same $1,000, that's $40 to $50 a year instead of a dime. Same money, same safety, you just stop letting the bank keep the interest that was rightfully yours. It's the same lesson as the whole video in miniature. It's not about more money, it's about putting the money in the right place. Here's the rule, and I want you to take it seriously. Until you have this buffer, nothing else on this list matters. Don't skip ahead, don't invest, don't get cute, get the floor first. Now, once that floor exists, step 2 is where things get genuinely fun, because step 2 is the closest thing to free money you will ever be handed in your life.
Step 2. Grab every free dollar your employer hands you. Imagine your boss walks up to your desk, holds out a stack of cash, and says, "Hey, this is yours, no strings, you just have to reach out and take it." And then imagine most people don't reach out. That sounds insane. But it's happening in offices all over America right now. It's called the 401k match, and a shocking number of people leave it sitting on the table. Let me explain it like you're brand new to all of this, because honestly, most adults are. A 401k is just a retirement account your job offers. You put a slice of your paycheck in, and that money gets invested for your future. Totally normal. But here's the magic part. A lot of employers will match what you put in. As in, you put $1 in, they drop in some of their own money right next to it, for free, just for participating. Let me make it real with numbers. Say you make $60,000 a year. Your company says, we'll match 50% of what you contribute up to 6% of your salary. That sounds like corporate gibberish, so let's translate it. 6% of $60,000 is $3,600. That's what you put in over the year, about $300 a month, or roughly $138 out of each biweekly paycheck. Your employer matches 50% of that, so they toss in $1,800. Free, money you didn't have to earn. So you put in $3,600 and instantly, before the market does anything, before a single stock goes up or down, you have $5,400. Stop and feel that for a second. That's an instant 50% return on your money. Where else on planet Earth can you put in $1 and immediately have $1.50? Nowhere. The best investors in the world get excited about 10% a year. You just got 50% before lunch. Here's the uncomfortable flip side. If your employer offers a match and you're not grabbing all of it, you are literally turning down a raise. That's not me being dramatic. If you're leaving $1,800 a year on the table, that's the same as walking into your boss's office and saying, please pay me $1,800 less this year. Nobody would ever do that on purpose. But people do it by accident every single payday just because nobody explained it to them. So here's exactly what to do. Contribute just enough to capture the full match. Not more, not yet. In our example, that's the 6%. Grab every free dollar and then stop. Why stop? Because the next dollar you have is more valuable somewhere else. And that somewhere else is the step almost everybody skips. The one that's quietly bleeding them dry. Step 3. Wipe out high-interest debt. The step everyone skips. Okay, deep breath. This is the step people hate, the step people skip, and not a coincidence, the step that's costing them more than any other. High-interest debt. Mostly that means credit cards, sometimes personal loans, payday loans, that buy now, pay later thing that quietly turned into a monster. Basically anything charging you more than about 8% a year. Let me show you why this matters so much, and I'm going to use the kind of example nobody puts in a finance video. Picture your money as a bucket of water you're carrying up a hill. The hill is your future. The higher you climb, the wealthier you are. Now picture your credit card debt as a hole in the bottom of that bucket. A 22% interest rate is a big hole. You can climb as hard as you want, pour in as much as you can, but the water's leaking out the bottom the entire time. Investing while ignoring high-interest debt is exactly that. You're hustling to fill a bucket that's draining faster than you can pour. Here's the math that makes it undeniable. If you've got a credit card at 22% interest, that means every year the balance you owe grows by 22% if you don't kill it. So if you take $1 and invest it instead of paying that card, your investment has to earn more than 22% just to keep up, just to break even. And how much does the stock market actually make on average? The S&P 500, basically a bet on the 500 biggest companies in America, averages around 10% a year over the long haul. That's fantastic for investing, but it is nowhere near 22%. So let's be brutally honest. You cannot invest your way out of 22% interest. It's not a math you can win. The card is sprinting at 22, the market is jogging at 10. The card wins every time until you kill it. So step 3 is simple to say and hard to do. Pay it off aggressively. Not the minimum payment. The minimum payment is a trap designed to keep you in debt for roughly the rest of your natural life. On some balances, paying the minimum can take decades and cost you more in interest than the original purchase. They didn't design that by accident. Instead, every dollar you have left, after your small emergency buffer from step 1 and your employer match from step 2, gets thrown at this debt until it is dead and gone. Now here's the psychology, because this is the real reason people skip it. Paying off debt doesn't feel like building wealth. There's no satisfying number going up.
You make a payment and you just owe less. It feels like running in place. There's no dopamine hit, no little chart trending up and to the right. So let me reframe it in a way that'll stick. Killing a 22% interest rate is the same as earning a guaranteed 22% return with zero risk, tax-free, market crash-proof, recession-proof. There is no investment on earth that safely guarantees you 22%. None. The single highest return move available to most people isn't some hot stock, it's destroying their credit card balance. This is the step that unlocks everything below it. Plug the hole in the bucket, and now every dollar you pour finally starts to stay in. So once that high interest debt is gone, and I mean gone, we get to the good part. The part where your money starts working harder than you do.
Step 4. Max out your tax-advantaged accounts. This is where the real magic kicks in. Step 4 is where you stop playing defense and your money starts compounding, growing on top of its own growth, like a snowball rolling downhill, picking up more snow with every turn. Once your high-interest debt is dead, you want to max out your tax-advantaged accounts. Big phrase. Let me unjargon it. A tax-advantaged account is just a special type of account the government lets you use to invest, where they cut you a massive break on taxes if you use it for long-term goals like retirement. Think of it like a greenhouse. Plant the same seed outside and the weather beats it up. Plant it inside the greenhouse and it grows protected, faster, bigger. The seed is your money. The greenhouse is the account. The all-star here is the Roth IRA. Here's how a Roth works in plain English. You put in money you've already paid taxes on, your normal take-home pay. And then, from that point on, everything it grows into is yours, completely tax-free forever. You pay the tax once, today, on the seed. You never pay tax on the giant tree it becomes. In 2026, you can put up to $7,000 a year into a Roth IRA if you're under 50. If you're 50 or older, the government lets you add a bit extra to catch up. Now, let me show you why this is one of the most powerful money moves you can make all year. And I want you to really sit with this number. Imagine you're 25 years old. You put in $7,000, that's it, just one time, and you leave it completely alone invested at that long-term 10% average. By the time you're ready to retire in your mid-60s, that single $7,000 quietly grows into roughly $300,000. From $7,000 that you never touched. That's not a typo. That's the snowball. That's compounding. Your money makes money, then that money makes money, and the whole thing accelerates the longer you leave it alone. Time is doing the heavy lifting, not you. Now here's the kicker, the part that separates people who know this stuff from people who don't. If you'd grown that exact same $7,000 in a regular account, no greenhouse. The government would take a cut of all that growth when you cash out. You'd walk away with noticeably less. Same money, same investments, same returns, but the account type alone decides whether you keep all of it or hand a chunk to taxes. That's why this is not some boring technicality for accountants. The account you choose is one of the biggest financial decisions you make every single year, and most people never even think about it. They obsess over picking the right stock and completely ignore the container they put it in. They're standing in the rain arguing about seeds while the greenhouse sits right there, empty. And quick note, if you've still got room and you're already maxing your Roth, go back and put more into your 401k, beyond just the match. More greenhouse space. But the Roth is the perfect starting point for most people. Fill the greenhouse first, then, once it's full for the year, we double back and finish something we started way back in step 1.
Step 5. Build your full 3 to 6 month emergency reserve. Remember that little $1,000, $2,000 buffer we built way back in step 1? That was the starter. It got you through a flat tire and a surprise dentist bill. Step 5 is finishing the job, building a full emergency fund that could carry you through something much bigger. A layoff, a long illness, a real curveball. So how big is full? The rule is 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. And I want to be precise about that word essential because people get it wrong and freak themselves out. This is not 3 to 6 months of everything you spend. It's not your vacations, your nice dinners, your impulse Amazon cart, your 16 streaming services. It's just the stuff you need to survive and keep the lights on. Rent or mortgage, utilities, power, water, internet,
food, actual groceries, not DoorDash 4 nights a week. Transportation, gas, car payment, bus pass, whatever gets you to work. Insurance, health, car, the non-negotiables. Add those up for 1 month. That's your survival number. Multiply by 3 for a solid cushion, by 6 for a fortress. Now here's the question I get every time. Where do I keep this? Shouldn't I invest it so it grows? No. And this is important. This money goes into a high-yield savings account. Same kind we talked about in step 1. It does not go in the stock market. Not even a little. Not even the safe part. Here's why, and it's the whole point of this step. The entire job of this money is to be available, instantly, without you having to sell a single investment. Picture this. The economy tanks. There are layoffs. The stock market is down 30%. Blood in the streets. Headlines everywhere. And that's exactly the moment your company decides to cut your job. Brutal timing, but it's not random. Job losses and market crashes tend to show up together because they're caused by the same bad economy. Now, the version of you without a real emergency fund has to do the single worst thing in all of investing. Sell your investments while they're down 30% just to pay rent. You're locking in that 30% loss permanently, and you are erasing years of that beautiful compounding we just built in step 4, all in one stressed out afternoon because you had no choice. The version of you with the full reserve? You calmly live off your cash for a few months while you find the next job. Your investments stay untouched in the market, and they get to ride the recovery back up because the market always has, eventually. You never sold. You never panicked. The cushion did its job. That's the whole idea. This money isn't supposed to grow.
It's supposed to protect everything else that's growing. 3 to 6 months, liquid, safe. Set it, leave it, and sleep better than you have in years. And now, foundation solid, debt dead, greenhouse full, fortress built, we finally get to the fun part. The part everybody thinks of when they hear the word investing. Everything left over goes into building real, long-term wealth. Step 6. Invest the rest in a taxable brokerage account. Look at everything you've built to get here. Take a second to actually appreciate it. You've got a starter buffer so small stuff doesn't wreck you. You're grabbing every free dollar from your employer. You've killed the high-interest debt that was draining the bucket. You've filled your tax-advantaged greenhouse for the year. You've built a full emergency reserve so a crisis can't force your hand. That is a fortress. Most people in this country never build even half of it. You're already in rare air. So now, step 6, every dollar you have left goes into a taxable brokerage account. That's just a regular investment account you can open with any major brokerage. It doesn't have the fancy tax perks of the Roth, but it has one huge advantage. There's no limit. You can put in as much as you want, as often as you want. This is your long-term wealth engine, and now that the greenhouse is full for the year, this is where the rest of the harvest goes. Now, what do you actually buy? Here's where people overthink it into oblivion, so let me make it simple. You don't need to pick hot stocks. You don't need to watch CNBC. You don't need a guy in a Lamborghini on the internet telling you about the next big thing. For the vast majority of people, the answer is low-cost index funds. Let me explain an index fund like you're 10, because it's genuinely that simple. Instead of trying to guess which one company is going to win, which is basically gambling, an index fund lets you buy a tiny slice of hundreds of companies all at once. The most famous one tracks the S&P 500, which is just the 500 biggest companies in America. Apple, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, all of them in one package. So instead of betting on one horse, you're betting on the entire race, the whole American economy. If a few companies fail, who cares? You own the winners too. It's diversified, it's boring, and boring is exactly what makes people rich. And look for low expense ratios. That's just a tiny fee the fund charges. Some funds charge a lot, some charge almost nothing. And over decades, a high fee quietly eats a shocking chunk of your returns. Low fees, always. It's free money, the same way the 401k match was. Now, here's the most important habit of this entire step, and honestly of this whole video. Automate it. Set up an automatic transfer. Pick a date, payday's perfect, and have the money move into your investments before you ever see it or get a chance to spend it. Same amount, same day, every single month. Rain or shine. Mark it up, mark it down, scary headline, boring Tuesday. It doesn't matter. The robot just keeps buying. Why automate? Because the biggest enemy of your investments is you. Your emotions. The urge to wait for a better time. The panic when the market drops. The greed when it's soaring. Automation takes your shaky human hands off the wheel and lets cold, consistent math do the driving. And here's the truth that nobody selling you a stock trading app wants you to hear. You do not need to time the market. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to predict anything. The people who actually build serious wealth are almost never the ones glued to the screen reacting to every headline. They're the boring ones, quietly buying the same index fund every month for 20 years while everyone else panics and brags and panics again. They're not smarter.
They're not luckier. They just followed the sequence every single paycheck and let time do what time does. That's the whole game. Consistency plus time. That's it.
Let's bring it all home. 6 steps in this exact order. 1. A small emergency buffer. 2. Grab your full employer match. 3. Destroy high-interest debt. 4. Fill your tax-advantaged accounts. 5. Build your full 3 to 6 month reserve. 6. Invest everything else automatically for the long haul. Now hear me on this, because it's the part that actually matters. You will not be able to do all 6 at once. Almost nobody can at first. That's not failure. That's normal. The whole point isn't speed, it's order. You start at step 1, you get it done, you move to step 2, then 3. Some months you'll cruise through several. Some months a surprise bill knocks you back and you just rebuild and keep going. That's fine. The sequence is a staircase, not a race, and a staircase only works if you take the steps in order. Here's the real reason most people in this country never build wealth. It's not that they don't earn enough, it's that they try to skip ahead. They invest before they've killed their debt. They buy stocks before they have $1 saved. Or just as often, they get overwhelmed by all of it and never start at all. You're not going to be either of those people anymore. You know the order now. And that one piece of knowledge, the simple sequence, quietly puts you ahead of the overwhelming majority of Americans who will go their whole lives never seeing it laid out like this. Same paycheck, same job, same starting line as everyone else. Different order. Completely different ending. Now, you know which one you're going to get.